Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you have made it this far, you have made it to the very final live session of the day. After this, we're going to open up our chat booth so that you can ask us your questions face to face if you would like. But for now, we're going to wrap things up by talking about residence, student life, and support services. If you haven't joined in our previous sessions, I'm Emily, and I have two fantastic colleagues joining me for this session, Leah and Mariana, and they're going to talk to you a little bit later about student life and support for international students. I see that we have some people saying hello in the chat, which is excellent. We love to see it. We love to see people sending emojis. So please continue to do that because, yeah, we love to see it. So when you get accepted to Carleton, when you get your offer of admission, you are also going to be given a guaranteed offer of residence. Now, this only applies to students who are coming into first year directly from high school. So with your offer of admission, you get a guaranteed offer of residence. And the offer that we guarantee you, or the room that we guarantee you, is a double traditional room. So we have 11 different residence buildings on campus. 9 of them are for first year students, and we have over 3,600 students living in residence. So you can think of it as like a small city within a city. Lots of students who are in first year living in residence, lots of international students, also lots of Canadian students. So it's a great way to get to know people from other countries and perhaps people from the same country that you are coming from as well. We have a few different types of rooms, and like I mentioned, you're going to be guaranteed a double traditional room. The traditional rooms are just what it sounds like. It's a room, and you will either have it to yourself or you will share it with someone else. And you will also have a bathroom attached to your room that you'll share with someone in the room next to you. We also have suite style rooms. Suite style rooms are different because you have a suite. There's always going to be 4 people sharing a suite. There will either be 4 single rooms or there's going to be 2 double rooms. You will all share a bathroom and a common space and a small kitchen area. Now, the kitchen area is not fully equipped. It does have a full-size fridge, and it also has a kitchen prep area with lots of cupboards, but there's no oven or stove, but students are more than welcome to bring in a hot plate or a toaster oven to do some cooking if that's what you would like. Now, with residents, or in your residence fees, we include your all access meal plan. So in residence, we have one cafeteria, and it's centrally located within all of the residence buildings. So everyone living in residence will go to the same place to eat, and everyone is given an all access meal plan. This all access meal plan means that it is completely unlimited. So you could go in as many times as you want throughout the day. You can stay for as long as you want throughout during your time there, and you can eat as much as you want. It truly is unlimited, which is great. One of the things that I loved most about living in residence was having the access to the unlimited food. We have a rotating menu as well. So this means that you're not just eating the same stuff every day, which is really nice. There are some constant stations throughout the CAF, but every day the menus are constantly rotating, so you're always going to have different options. The things that are typically stay the same from day to day are the sandwiches. So just like at Subway, how you can go and get a sandwich made, there's a sandwich station where you can go and get any type of sandwich made right there in front of you. There's a pizza station that always has pizza. There's a salad bar that has pre-made salads, but also you can build your own salad. There's a pasta bar where they'll make any type of pasta that you want. There's all-day breakfast, which includes omelets. There's a variety of fruit, which you can actually take to go if you want to grab something on your way to class. There's so many dessert options. There's an ice cream or a soft serve ice cream machine and so much more. We also like to account for any type of dietary need or restriction that students might have. So there are always vegetarian options. There are always vegan options, halal options, gluten-free options, dairy-free options. The entire place is peanut-free. And we also we focus on sustainability and locally grown food as well, so that we can just really focus on being sustainable. We also have registered dietitians on site. So if you are maybe worried about what you're going to eat, or perhaps you want something made from your home country, you can do that. we actually have a suggestion box in the CAF where students can place their request in the suggestion box, and then our chefs will create it. So I think they have one day of the week where they will feature something that has been requested by a student. So if you're thinking that there's some food from your home country that you really miss and you really want to eat, you can put that in the suggestion box and they will hopefully make it for you, or they'll make it for everyone. Now, there are also themed meals, which is really cool. When I was in first year, I was living in residence and they had a Harry Potter themed night. It was towards the end of the year, and they made the entire place look like Hogwarts. They went all out with the decorations. All the staff members in the CAF were completely dressed up like Harry Potter characters. All of the food resembled food that you would find at Hogwarts. So it was really, really fun, and kind of like a good way to end the year. I also lived in residence in my third year and fourth year, and I remember one night they did a carnival themed night. So they had so many games set up throughout the CAF. They had, I don't know what they're called, but they had like a basketball game. They had lots of different fun activities. And they also had all of the food that you would typically find at a carnival. So they had cotton candy, nachos, hot dogs, pogos, a whole like candy station, ice cream. So it was really fun. They like to go all out and do these themed meals. So the CAF is a huge benefit of living in residence. Now, getting involved is such a great part of the residence experience. We always recommend and encourage students to live in residence, especially international students, because maybe you're coming from a country and you don't know anyone at Carleton, or perhaps even in Ottawa. So this is a really great opportunity for you to meet other students. And like I said, you're going to be able to meet other students who are also international students. And you can also meet students who are also from Canada, which means that they can likely show you around, maybe help take you shopping for a winter coat when it starts to get colder. So we always recommend that. The other reason why it's such a good idea to live in residence is because you are so close to all of your classes. It's very, very convenient. You don't need to take a bus. You don't need to take any sort of transportation to get to class. You'll only need to walk 5 to 10 minutes maximum to get to your classes, because everything is located right here on campus. So it makes it super convenient. And there are so many ways for you to get involved in the residence community. So of course, you are going to get to know your roommate. You'll get to know the other people who are living on your floor. But there are also so many events that happen throughout the course of the year that allow you to get involved as well. The picture that you're looking at right now is called the Raven's Roost. And the Raven's Roost is a big room or a big area located in one of our residence buildings, and it's open to all resident students. And it has a lot of different activities for you to do. So each evening, you'll typically see quite a few students in there playing a game of pool. There's an arts and crafts sort of section of the room that you can, if you wanted to go and, draw or knit or do any sort of craft. There are TVs, so you could have movie nights, or you could do like a trivia night. There's a foosball table. There's a ping pong table. So it's a really great place to go and hang out with some friends. Maybe you've got a big group of friends from different buildings and you want to all have a place to get together. It's a good way to do that. And then there are also so many different events that happen throughout the year for resident students. One of my favorites was called the roommate game, which I think they still do. And this is where you can sign up with your roommate or the person you share a bathroom with. We call it a canmate. And basically you get quizzed on how well you know your roommate. And it's it's kind of like a whole show. It's really fun. And there's a lot of really great prizes. So one of the huge benefits of living in residence is simply to get involved, meet other students, and really get, well acquainted with Carleton's campus as well. For international students, I think it's such a great opportunity, and we always really recommend it. Now, some important information for you to write down are these dates and deadlines. In order to be guaranteed a spot in residence, you have to have an offer of admission from us by May 12th. Okay, so this means that we really, really encourage you to apply as early as you can. Our deadline for international students is April 1st. So if you have that offer from us by May 12th, you will get a guaranteed offer of residence. But you do have to accept that offer of residence. So the deadline to accept your offer is June 8th. If you do not accept your offer by this date, you will lose your spot in residence and you will then have to apply to live in residence. So make sure that you write these 2 dates down. May 12th, you have to have your offer admission. June 8th, you have to accept your offer of residence. And then a question that I get asked often is, do I get to choose my roommate? And the answer is yes. If you know someone who you want to live with, you can both request each other. And as long as you both request each other, we will pair you together as roommates. Now, if you don't know anyone, but you're thinking, well, I really hope that I get paired with someone who's going to be a good fit for me, don't worry, because we have a very detailed and extensive questionnaire that you get to fill out. It's going to be emailed to you around June once you've accepted your offer of residence, and you're going to get the chance to answer questions, lifestyle questions, personality questions, and preference questions. So, for example, you'll answer questions such as, do you like to get up early in the morning, or do you prefer to stay up late at night? How often do you like to clean the room? How cold do you like to keep the room? Do you want to live with someone who's in your program, or would you prefer to live with someone who's not in your program? There's different themed floors as well. So we really try to make it so that we will pair you with someone who's going to be a good fit for you. And then you actually get to meet that person even before you move into residence. We will provide you with their contact information. And so you can reach out and get to know them and just, chat about all things residence and coming to Carleton. So rest assured, we will do our very best to pair you with someone who's going to be a good fit for you as a roommate. So that was all my information about residence. If we have some more time at the end of the presentation, I might take some questions. But for now, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Leah to talk a little bit about student life at Carleton.
Thank you so much, Emily. And I can attest to the residence experience. I lived in residence all 4 years, and I loved being part of the residence community, being able to benefit from the residence advantages. So I strongly recommend living in residence, at least especially in your first year. Now, your experience in university is more than just academics. While academics is a key focus, we also want you to have a very well-rounded experience, and that includes your social side. So at Carleton, there are many ways that you can get involved. There are many ways that you can start to create memories. There are many ways that you can have new experiences. Number one way to do that is joining clubs and societies. I often hear, what's the difference between a club and what's the difference between a society? Societies are attached to the program specifically. So let's say you're in the program within the sciences. You will have a student society attached to that program. Student societies are usually there to help enhance your experience. They have lots of themed events, like, for example, mentorship events. They might bring guest speakers. They also have access to resources that can help you. If you're considering applying to something like medicine, your student society might help you with MCAT prep. So they might have some test results, like some practice tests that you can take. Having a student society is a great way to kind of take advantage of some resources outside of the classroom. Now, clubs are very interest-based. They can range from cultural interests, faith groups, or just special interest clubs. We have over 300 clubs in society, so there are lots of options that you can choose from. In the first week of school, we have what we call our Clubs Expo. So we bring all the different clubs on campus and all the different societies. They're all gathered in our field house, which is a very big space. You will be able to look into the different clubs, societies, sign up for whichever interests you. When I was a student, I was able to join many clubs. I joined clubs based on the region I was from, East African Student Association. I joined clubs based on the interests I have. UNICEF was one of the clubs. In clubs, I met a lot of great people. I built a lot of long-lasting friendships that I still hold to this day. So I strongly recommend getting involved. It's a fun way to be able to kind of put into practice what you're learning in the classroom, but it's also a fun way to meet people and start creating memories. Some of the clubs have a lot of great events. Like we have our club called OLAs. We have our Nigerian Student Association clubs. They host a lot of great events. So I recommend going out to them. You don't have to belong to the specific group to be able to be part of the club or to be able to attend their events. They welcome allies from different parts. So it's a great way to learn about different cultures. Next slide, please. Student life also does come in terms of like varsity sports. We are a very big, strong sports university. We have our varsity teams. Fun fact about Carleton, we are actually undefeated in basketball. So we've won about 16 championships out of 19 so far, and 12 of those have been recurring. So We definitely are a dynasty when it comes to varsity basketball, men's basketball, but we have lots of ways that you can kind of get involved actively with sports. You can try out for a varsity team. We have lots of sports: football, basketball, rugby, uh, netball. I'm not sure if we have netball, but that's a good one. We have volleyball, tennis. There are many different sports that you can get involved in and compete in competitively. If you don't want to compete, we also have intramural sports. I know Emily had intramural volleyball, which she greatly enjoyed. Intramural teams are more friendly, they're not as competitive. It's mostly playing against other Carleton students. It's a great way to keep active while on campus. It's a great way to meet people, have fun, play a game of sports, maybe meet for some lunch or drinks after. It's always a great kind of activity to be able to do. We also have student societies, student support services. So we have various support services around our campus. You can volunteer for the support services. We have our gender support services. We have our LGBTQ support services. We have our International Student Services Office, which we'll also talk about shortly. But you can volunteer for this organization, these support services. It's a great way to build your co-curricular record. That's a record of all the different extracurricular activities you're taking while as a student. Next slide, please. I did want to show some of our sporting resources that we have on campus. So you can see our Olympic-sized pool that is available to students. We see our gym, our ice house, field house, basketball court. You have access to these resources during intramural sports, or maybe if you want to go to the gym or if you want to take a swim. This is all included in your tuition, so you don't have to worry about paying a separate cost for it. You can take advantage and kind of maintain a healthy social life as well as a healthy balanced life, to being able to work out and just have fun and do anything sport related. Next slide. One of the key things I like to mention is that within our student support services, we have something called the Student Experience Office. We have our International Student Support Services Office. These are two very big offices on campus. They get a lot of volunteers. They have volunteers for orientation. They have volunteers for peer support mentorship programs. This is also a great way to be able to get involved and kind of give back to the community as well. When I was a student in my first year, I got a lot of support making that transition. And in my second year, I wanted to be the person who was supporting incoming students as well. So it's a great way to kind of give back to the society, the environment that has supported you through your transition. And it's also a great way to build your co-curricular record, as I mentioned. Next slide. Our city, so we live in Ottawa. You will be able to build a vibrant experience outside of Carleton through our city. Ottawa is very friendly. It's very friendly budget on your budget. So it's very student friendly. You can take advantage of our student discounts. There are a lot of things that you can do in Ottawa. Oftentimes, I always hear people say, Ottawa does seem like a very boring city. I beg to differ. If you know where to go, you will find lots of things to do. I actually follow a page on Instagram that says Ottawa is not boring, and they highlight all the different fun events that are taking place in Ottawa. Right now, we have a very strong Christmas theme going around, so there are lots of Christmas markets. So you get to see all the beautiful lights, you get to see Santa, you get to have great Christmas treats. So it's always something fun to do, regardless of the season. We also have the canal, which does freeze over in the winter. It becomes a skating rink. We have the largest skating rink in the world, so you can take advantage of that. It's right in our backyard. Lots of things to do. You can skate on the canal, stop and have a beaver tail. I promise you, it's not a beaver's tail. It's just a really great snack that's very unique to Canada, and you can put a lot of great things on it and make it a tasty treat. The winter comes with lots of fun things to do, and I will now hand it over to Mariana, who will tell you about the International Student Support Services Office and how they support students as they make the transition to Carleton.
Thank you, Leah, for that introduction. So as she mentioned, my name is Mariana. I'm the exchange coordinator for outgoing exchange students at the International Student Service Office. So that means that I work with the exchange team supporting students who want to go abroad. I did my undergraduate at Carleton. I did a psychology degree, but I was also an international student. So I've been here in Canada for around 6 years now. I'm originally from Brazil, and I moved to complete my degree, got involved, lived in residence, volunteered, joined clubs, and made a lot of connections on campus. So after I graduated, I had the opportunity to continue my career at Carleton, and I've been working there ever since. So the ISSO, the office that I work at, is the International Student Service Office. We call it the ISSO on campus, offers a lot of support for students in their transition to Carleton and to Ottawa. So we do support both undergraduate and graduate student, and we support the whole international community as well as exchange students, like I was mentioning. So these are some of the services we provide to help with that transition support. So we have immigration services. We have a team of immigration advisors available for our students on campus. So students can drop by our office to ask any questions related to study and work permits, postgraduate work permits, and permanent residency. So our immigration advising team, they offer workshops both virtually and in person, and Q&A, so students can drop in or schedule appointments to get support with any of those issues. We also have the University Health Insurance Plan, or UHIP, so our office oversees that. So students can also get support in terms of coverage and any questions related on where to get medical assistance as an international student. And lastly, international mobility. So as I mentioned, I'm part of the exchange team, so I do help exchange students. So we have both students coming and going on exchange, and international students are more than welcome to use those opportunities to not only experience Ottawa, but maybe go study somewhere else for a semester or academic year. So we do have language and research programs and study abroad opportunities. So our office does understand that transitioning to a new academic and cultural environment can be both exciting, but also overwhelming. So we do have a lot of services to support this transition and help students engage with our community. So even before you arrive in Canada, students are enrolled in the iStart orientation. So this is an online course that students can complete to get to know life in Ottawa, what to expect when you arrive, and the different services available for you. Once you're here in person, we have international welcome orientation. So this year we had a week long of events where students could get to know each other, our staff, other resources on campus, but also explore the city with our volunteers who take them to different areas of Ottawa, so you can get to know a little bit of the place you're going to be living at. And we also have events throughout the semester. So some of the events we're offering now are Global Cafe. So those are bi-weekly events where students can just like mingle and socialize with one another. Museum visits as another chance to explore the city and get to know some of the museums around here. Canadian holidays. So we do celebrate some of the Canadian holidays, so our students can get the Canadian experience that I know can be really interesting. So this year we had a pumpkin carving for Halloween, and we're taking our students to see Christmas lights for Christmas in a few weeks. And then we also have winter activities. So Canada and Ottawa is very popular for its winter and the activities that are available for our students to explore. And we do want you to have that chance. So we take our students skating, we take our students to explore different parks, go see Parliament during the winter, like the lights and things like that. So we have a variety of cultural and social events to help our students build connections and be able to explore. And lastly, our peer support. So as I mentioned, we have volunteers. So those are other international students who volunteer with us. We have a team of them. So they're the ones who actually are leading all the events that I mentioned before. They're the ones who go with you. So you can meet other international students who have been here for a little bit longer. And then we also have mentorship programs. So the Global PALS, or Peer Advisors Learning Support, are undergraduate and graduate international students who, again, have been here for a while. And they can provide any guidance on insights about Carleton, living in Ottawa, the transition here to Canada. So students can also enroll in this program. And we have specific group for graduate students. So all of our students can get support while they're here in Ottawa. So that's it for me. So those are some of the programs that we offer. I'm going to throw it back to Leah, but thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mariana, for that. I can attest to how supportive the ISSO is for our international students. I definitely recommend being familiar with their office because it's a great place to kind of get more information as you navigate your new life in Canada and in Carleton. So we do have a bit more time. So Emily and I are going to take some questions that you may have. Any general questions that you would like to ask, please put them in the chat and we'll be happy to answer them verbally. Let's see.
I see one student has asked how much does it cost to live on campus, which is a great question because I didn't mention that, I don't think. For residents, it's typically about $12,000 to live on campus for the year, and that includes your all access meal plan. So you don't need to pay anything extra for meals. Everything is included in that amount, and it's approximately $12,000 per year. If you're living in a suite, it's going to be slightly more expensive. So you're looking at probably around $13,000 for the year.
Thank you so much, Emily. And I do see a question about our Carleton medical facility. So we actually do have a clinic on campus. So that is covered with your health insurance. It's very easy to get through there. You can walk, it's right next to our campuses. It has health and counseling. It has, let's say you're feeling ill and you just want to be able to get some medicine. You can go there. There's a pharmacy right on the first floor. We also have dental facilities, so you can also get that. It's also covered in your health insurance. So there is a lot of options for your health and counseling support. So if you do feel sick, you don't have to worry. You're able to get medical assistance, and it's available with your insurance. Let's see. Are there any questions?
Yes, there's a question about can I make my own club if my club of interest isn't available? And the answer is yes, you can actually you can start your own club. Chances are there is likely, if you're interested in something, there will likely already be a club for that, just because we have so many clubs and societies, and we have a very diverse population of students. So it probably already exists, but if it doesn't, you are more than welcome to start your own club. We have another question. Can someone join an official school sports team after getting admission, like some of the U sports teams? And the answer is yes. So if you're looking to do if you're looking to play a varsity sport or a competitive sport, usually there's tryouts for that. So we recommend that you get in contact with the coach, which you can do through us if you would like. Once you have your offer of admission, usually students need to get in contact with the coach and then go from there. Sometimes there's tryouts, but absolutely, we definitely encourage you, if you're looking to do a sport, to do that. And we have, what is the maximum number of people who can share a room, which is a good question. And the answer is 2 people maximum to a bedroom. There's always going to be either one person or 2 people sharing a bedroom. And then usually for a bathroom, it'll be 4 people sharing a bathroom, but it could be 2 or 3. So there will never be more than 2 people sharing a room. Maybe Leah, I can ask you this question and you can answer it. Can the on-campus residence payment be done partially, or must it be all at once? What is the payment schedule?
So typically we do have deadlines that come based on the term. So for example, when you're paying for the fall term, we have a deadline typically August 25th, around that time. And then we also have a deadline for November 25th for the winter term. So it is broken up to semester based. We don't necessarily have a partial payment option plan, but if you ever need to talk to the student's accounts office, we're happy to put you in contact with them, and they can let you know what options you have available when it comes to payment.